Welcome back, everybody, to the Positive Vibes Only Show. My name is Omar. I am your host. This is the new experience for all things New York Jets. So today we have a great show lined up for everybody. We're going to be talking about this matchup that's coming up against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday Night Football, which is tomorrow. So we are closely getting to the end of the year. The New York Jets are currently 7-7, and we're going to talk about that. You know what? Let's get into that right now. Actually, no. Let's get into the film study first of the Jaguars. So we're going to be looking and reacting to their previous game where they beat the Dallas Cowboys, and I've gone through about half of this video. I didn't go through the whole thing simply because I've just been so busy trying to prepare this show, and with the number of other things I have going on, I have physical therapy today. So I just said, you know what? F it. Let's do it live. So, and the way we're going to do this is we're going to go through the Jags game, we're going to do some stats, look at the matchup, and talk a little bit about Zach Wilson because there was, there's always news going on right now about this young man. He is so polarizing and to many people, and there's a lot of love and support coming out from him this week, and I personally love that because I can't say enough wonderful things about this young man. He's just out there. He's working hard to get better week in and week out. And I should do a separate video about the press conferences that he had and Coach Sala had. Coach Sala made a comment about instant coffee, and then there was a reaction to that from Chris Sims and Mike Florio that I thought was interesting. So there's a couple of different reactions. Now, there's also a video that was just put out recently by Jet Central, Ian from Jet Central, talking about something that Steve Young had to say. So I don't know if I can play Ian's video, but I will reference. He put a link to the video that was posted by someone named Aaron Bagley. So I will play that. I will play a clip to that, but we're not going to get into that because again, we'll be here for an hour. So that should be another separate video that probably I'll talk about tomorrow, maybe before the game. And either way, we have to continue to support our QB1 and our future of this organization because the talent is just mind blowing. His talent. So with that being said, I'm not going to do the like and subscribe thing. Everybody does that. Let's just get into this. Let's bring it to the. Alrighty. So there's going to be no audio on this. I'm just gonna let's just get started and we'll look at a couple of things. I'm gonna skip through this because I'm not gonna sit here throughout. This is how long is this video? 14 minutes. We're not gonna sit here for 14 minutes watching the Cowboys stink up the joint. I swear there are some teams that are just so fraudulent. You are what your record says you are, and I think that's what the Jets are right now. Is a 500. They're a 500 team. They are what their record says it is, but it's yeah. There's ETN. I thought ETN was hurt, but I guess he's not. Also, one thing that I should note as well, when we talk about the Jags matchup later, there was. Well, I'll mention something from the Jake Asman show later. Make a note of this. Sorry, but I'm not playing audio, but I got hit with a copyright, and I'm not sure if I can play audio, even though a lot of people react to these same exact videos. This is a video that's online that people react to, and you're allowed to react and comment to these videos for under fair copyright use, but whatever. That's Zeke. That's Zeke. And they said he got in. There's Zeke. Beat him. This is the Ohio State kid, like my boy G Dub. So I'm not a big Dak Prescott fan. I'm really not. But whatever. We want to focus in on what Jacksonville is doing defensively here, and of course offensively, because some of their offensive numbers are actually not kind of impressive, and that's just some bad defense. So they're down 14-0 in the second. As you can see, Jacksonville is 5-8. Ingram. Oh, that was a nice play design. Nice play design and nice execution by T Law there. So that was a little trap end around type of play. Okay. A little bit of running action. Some of that stuff we just saw the Jets kind of struggle with. There's bad defense. What was that? Everybody was out of position there. That was some bad defense there. You got three guys damn near on the goal line, and you let that guy slide through you. Come on, Dallas. You're better than that. There's Zeke. You're better than that. All right, we're gonna skip ahead of here. So there are some patches there that you can see, and this is something that the Jaguars have been dealing with. The number one pick, Trey Walker, is or I don't know. They haven't seen him in a while. They said there's a lot of talk about what he is and whatnot. I've heard a lot about what's going on in Jacksonville. Well, not a lot, but I've heard that there's just not a lot to talk about with Trey Walker. But they see the upside. I swear, the conversation in regards to Trey Walker sounds just like the conversation with Zach Wilson. We see the upside. 21-7 right now. Somehow Jacksonville won this game. Oof. There's some good defense right there. He read that the whole way. Blew that up. That was Tony Pollard that got blown up in the backfield. 5 wide. Throwing off his back foot. Wow. Throwing off of his back foot. That was Christian Kirk, who's actually having a decent year. Interesting. There's ETN. Good block by the good kick out there by the tackle. Good looking play. Oh. Oh. I'm not going to highlight anything. I could if I want to, but I'm not going to. At least not right now. If there's something that I need to highlight, I will. Okay. I'm gonna move forward here. See, there's a lot of talk about how the coverage for Jacksonville is just not great. There's another example of it because that wasn't anything special by Dak. I'm telling you, he's really not. I'm fine with that guy. Dalton Schultz. Hey, yeah, you're still playing in the league. Huh. Up, up. This was, oof. This was a bad. Come on, this was a bad play all around. 24-10. You're up by 14 again. 2 scores. You lose this game. Dallas kicking another field goal. You're up by 17. Okay, it is the fourth. It is the third quarter with 4 minutes in the third quarter, and you're up by 17. This was the knock that I heard about Dallas. So we're gonna watch it. I think from here we have about 7 minutes left. Wow, wow, wow. Whoa. Hold on, I want to go back here. This looks a lot like like a play that Zach Wilson made. Look at where he starts and look at where he ends. Wow, heck of a play. Started on one side of the field and came all the way around to the other side. That was impressive, Mr. Lawrence. It was impressive. Gotta give credit where credit's due here. You had a pocket there, Dak. Wow, you had a pocket. What were you looking at? What are you looking at? You had a pocket. Look, look at this. That's open. What are you looking at? Prescott's a bum. What are you looking at, dude? A little trickery, little end around. That same play that they ran again. It's the same play that they're running again. The Jets are going to struggle with this. If they run this against the Jets, they might hit it once because the Jets struggle with that. I'm not going to lie. The creativity. The Jets are, oh, wow. The Jets have struggled this year when you against creative play calling. And sometimes the creative play calling is so tight that the Jets get kind of bailed out by the offense of the opposing team. I will say that's something we struggle with because our defense is so keep everything in front of us, cover your man, and when you start doing this thing, and make the Jets think too much, that's the way you can beat us. It is 27-24. Are you kidding me? You gotta close the door on these teams. They're 5-8, and you're 10-3. You literally have double the wins they have. You gotta close the door here. Wow, Christian Kirk, man. This is a team playing inspired football. This is called 4 quarters, 60 minutes. Wow, wow. Zay Jones, that was a heck of a catch, heck of an effort, heck of a throw. Risky, very risky. That could have gone either way. There goes Dak getting to the edge. I don't think he got the first down there. No way he didn't get the first down. Look at where the referee is. Okay. 3rd and 3 now. They're about to be in the red zone. There's Tony Pollard. Now they're in the red zone. 4 minutes, 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter now. This is where we're at. And I got hit. Sorry, everybody. I got hit. Let's see if we come back here. All right, everybody, we're back. So sorry about that. Again, they do this stupidity with me. I got to figure out how to get them to stop doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the end of this but what we're going to do is we're just going to minimize this and make me a lot bigger. Yeah. And hold on. Let me make sure that I don't have the audio selected because I think they're listening to the audio. Bear with me, everyone. This is a new show. So basically, here at the end, we could see it that they do get in. Now the game is 34-31. On this particular drive here, it looks like, okay, we got Kirk catching a ball, and this is a fumble here that was recovered by Dallas with 1 minute and 26 seconds left. I heard about this. So let's see if I could play this one thing. Okay. So apparently the quarterback had a fumble. Oh, brutal. And so they're able to get the ball back, which is insane. It's 3rd and 10 here, and they throw the ball, and it's incomplete. That's what happens. Gotta say, Jacksonville hung in there tough. 17 seconds left, and somehow they're able to complete a pass, get across the 50. You would think right here, I guess the ref gave this to them. They called a timeout here. They have one timeout left. This is really weird. I'm telling you, the referees, they had a weekend. Somehow, some way, Jacksonville gets the timeout back. They did stop the clock. And then, wow, look at this. And that's how they got to the field goal try. And then in overtime, I think what happened was this is what I did see the last play in overtime. Somehow, okay, that's not it. That's not it. But wow, a heck of a play out there by Dallas. What were you doing, Prescott? You threw off your back foot. It's a common theme that I've been talking about in my last couple of videos. When quarterbacks throw off their back foot, sometimes not so good things happen. Oh well, there you go. All right, we're gonna remove that. All right, so let's get to the stats. Let's get to the stats. I'm still online. Gotta make sure. I'm gonna bring up Jacksonville stats here for their team. Let's take a look at what we have here. All right. See if I can make that bigger and highlight that. You have, I can make this bigger actually. I can zoom in. There we go. Uh, so what we have here is Trevor Lawrence for the year, 3,520 passing yards, ETN at 917. I mean, these are actually decent numbers for a running back. You're going to have 1,000-yard running back and 1,000-yard receiver here. You still got 3 games left. I mean, this is actually pretty damn impressive. 156 tackles for Okun. And let's see, Lawrence's numbers look like this. He is completing 66% of his passes and 251 a game, 24 touchdowns to 7 picks. If that's correct, that's actually a decent year. Can't knock that at all for your second year. So ETN down here with 182 attempts, games played 14, and these are all the rushing numbers here. Trevor Lawrence was 239 yards for the year rushing, James Robinson, who's now on the Jets, oddly is left left Jacksonville with 340 yards on the year, and it was a weird thing as to why they traded him. It's my understanding that they still miss him down there. He was a fan favorite. Christian Kirk's the leading receiver, followed by Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, the former tight end from the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants. There's so many correlations in all these games. It's interesting. And then you got Marvin Jones Jr., who I think has been with the team for some time now. So I would say Kirk and Zay Jones, they'll have their hands full with Sauce and DJ. And let's go over here now. Over here, we're going to look at Jacksonville's schedule and who they've beaten and who they haven't beaten. Again, we're going to zoom in here because it matters who you've beaten and who you haven't beaten. Alrighty, you can see that pretty well. So they're 5-8, like we said. Right now they're 6 and I think they're 6-8 now, something like that. Lost to Washington, lost to Philly, lost to Houston. Oh, the Houston has one win this year. It was against Jacksonville. Unreal. Trevor Lawrence threw for 286 in that game. Lost to Philly the previous game, 174 yards. His numbers are so up and down. Wow. You go from 174 here. I know he had a low against Denver, 133. Wow. And people are killing Zach Wilson for his games. Are you kidding me? And then you've got 179 here and a rout by the Lions, an absolute curb stomping in Detroit. They are a different team at home, though, so we got to give them that. Their last games are against the Jets, Houston, and Tennessee. Okay, so yeah, look at the numbers here, and they're just kind of all over the place. How does Jacksonville match up with the Jets? Well, they're an up and coming team like the. Let me get this off the screen. They're an up and coming team like the Lions. They're an up and coming team. They play with a lot of heart. There's a new coach there, a new system. They spent a lot of money on the defensive line and on the defensive side of the ball, and apparently that's the side of the ball that they're struggling with the most. And there's a lot of inconsistency. So there's a really good interview that was done on the Jake Asman show. He interviewed a woman by the name of Mia O'Brien. She's a Jacksonville radio host and I guess a beat reporter because she's there at the stadium and they're in the locker room sometimes. And she had some really interesting things to say. I would show a clip of the interview, but again, I don't want to get hit with more copyright nonsense. And I don't know how Jake would feel about me using anything from his show, any content from his show or not. So I don't have any express permission from him. So I'll just kind of go through some of the cliffs of what she was saying. She basically talked about how there were some highs and some lows with the team and how the general expectation for Jacksonville fans is, hey, it's been a good season and we see promise, we see upside. A lot of people were looking to next year. All of a sudden they find themselves in this position where there's a possibility because Tennessee is literally self imploding right now and they find themselves in a position where it is possible mathematically that Jacksonville can win the AFC South. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the current standings right now, the current playoff picture right now. We're going to bring it up on screen so that we can. Alrighty. So far, we have, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see everybody. The Bills and Chiefs have clinched a spot. The Chiefs have clinched their division. So they are locked into anywhere between the 1 and the 4 seed. Buffalo has clinched a playoff spot. They are locked in from anywhere from the 1 to the 7 seed. That's the worst that could happen to them. So we're going to zoom in now and get into where we're at here. There's Cincy. They're starting to look really good. Tennessee, who has been mentioned, is self-imploding at 7-7. We have Baltimore. Now we get into the wild card, the 5, the 6, and the 7 seed, where the Jets have been the 5, the 6, or the 7 this year. It's been up and down for us. But this is what a lot of Jets fans wanted, was to be playing meaningful football right now. So again, looking at the last game, I wish I could bring up some more highlights from other previous Jacksonville games and try to figure out a way to not get hit with copyrights infringement, because there are other people that do it. And I think that maybe it's because they do a video and not so much because they do a copyright, like a live stream, I guess. Excuse me. So the 5 seed right now is currently the Baltimore Ravens, the 6 seed, the Chargers, and the 7 seed is the Dolphins. The 5 or the 6 seed is possibly going to be occupied by the loser. Most likely, if I was a betting man, I would say the loser of the NFC North, which is where Cincinnati and Baltimore play. The 5 or the 6 seed is where that person goes, where that team goes, which leaves LA in this weird place. LA has 3 games left against a bunch of. They have they have like the second easiest schedule in the league. It straight trash. They're playing nothing but bums. 3 games left. Their last chance of losing a game was to Tennessee. They are heavily favored in all 3 of their games. And if I was a betting man, I'd be betting on the Chargers to win all of those games. However, this is the NFL, and you play to win the game. And I gotta say, it wouldn't surprise me if LA loses a game or two because, well, the Chargers. So from week to week, you just don't know what's going to happen. And here's Miami in the 7th seed. The freaking Dolphins. 8-6. They have lost 3 in a row. They are also self-imploding right now. Their next matchup, I believe, is against Green Bay coming up on December 25th. As of this recording today, it is December 21st. Now we get into on the bubble. What do we find here? New England, the Jets, and Jacksonville. The only reason that we're in this position right now is because New England has the tiebreaker over the Jets, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd be sitting there. However, the way this works is it's my understanding that if Jacksonville wins out, they, I think, win the South. If the Jets win out, they're somewhere in the wild card. They can no longer, we've been, everyone's been pretty much eliminated. I don't understand how. Let me think about this. How has Buffalo not locked up the division yet? The worst that they could be right now is 11-4, right? No, 11-5. No, 17-game season, no more. 11-6. That's the worst they could be. 11-6. I can't do math today. Oh my goodness. Oh, Miami is 8-6. So there's a possibility that Miami is the only team that could possibly mathematically still win the division, but they would have to win out, and they would need a whole bunch of help. Yeah, they need a whole bunch of help. Okay, so the next game that happens, it's gonna happen. It's the clinching scenario there. It's gonna happen. So yeah, the Jets at 7 losses can no longer win the division, but they can still lock up. They're still very much alive for a wild card spot. So okay, let's get that off there. The Jets are alive for a wild card spot. We got this game tomorrow where the defense, the defense, in my opinion, what's going on right now is that it's a very long season. We're dealing with a myriad of injuries, and not having Quinn Williams out there, uh, it the defensive line looks a little bit different, and I think that in order for the coaches to help the defensive line out, they may have to send an extra guy on a blitz against Trevor Lawrence. That's a little risky. I believe Quinnen's playing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the latest injury report in front of me. Let's see if we can look that up. Injury report, New York Jets. New York Jets injury report. I believe Quinnen Williams is trending towards playing. Denzel is out. All right, right now, today, week 16, Eccles did not practice. See if I can bring this up on screen here. Eccles did not practice. There we go. Eccles didn't practice today. Denzel Mims in the concussion protocol. Jeff Smith with a knee did not practice. That's not good. The game tomorrow. We got a shoulder for Dwayne Brown. That's normal. Dwayne Brown, as he has, he has the tear in his rotator cuff. He's been playing through that, getting injections every week. Corey Davis, any concussion? Oh, okay. Oh, light practice today. Light practice. Full participant. Full participant. Okay, this is good. Full participant. Full participant. Dwayne Brown, full participant. George Fant, Lamarcus Joyner, light participant. Okay, limited practice. Mike White, limited. Quinton Williams, Bam Knight, full participant. Oh, that's good. So Q's back, and Bam Knight is back. That is big. That's big. For the Jaguars, Trayvon Walker did not play. Yeah, he's not playing. He's out. And Cam Robinson is out. Jawan Taylor did not practice, questionable. If you're not practicing, you're out. And Foley Fakati, our former New York Jet nose tackle, is out. So, yeah, there you go. Trevor Lawrence is questionable for whatever reason, but he was a limited participant. What's he dealing with? And Andrew Wingard. And, yeah, just a number of names. Brandon Sheriff, the guard, limited practice. Yeah, well, Brandon Sheriff, he's a veteran, so he probably just got a veteran day. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, having Quinton back is huge. He's a monster. He's a stud. He's been unblockable. By the way, Quinton Williams, one of the highest vote getters, and he's going to the Pro Bowl this year. He's becoming what a lot of Jets fans wanted to see him become. And although again, this fan base is so negative, it's instant coffee if you're not it right away because he was a third overall pick in the draft so many years ago. He's coming into his own right now, and he flat out admitted why. He said, "Listen, I got used to losing. They didn't have a winning culture here. He didn't have any help. Coach Sala has come in and instilled this all gas no break mentality of each day come in a building and get better and leave a little bit better than when you came in. And because of what's been going on last year and this year, and him coming into camp in the best shape of his life, he's been inspired and motivated by the coach. So great job, Robert Sala, and really getting the full potential out of Quinton Williams because we all knew he had it in him. And I was never negative of Quinton. I always liked him. I thought he had a great season last year. I thought he was playing okay. I thought he really had a good season last year. And there was one year when Gates was here. I think Gates' last year. We really should not mention that name. Let's just say the last 2 years that Quinton has played, I like to pay attention to the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I feel like Quinton has done an excellent job. I really do. Shout out to you, Q. You're gonna get the bag this year, bro. You are, man. You're our MVP. And without that guy, it looked different against Detroit. So I'm hoping that the Jets pass rush and really just the front of that defense when the second the ball is snapped just feels different. It looks different. And when that happens, every quarterback, I've talked about this before, they deal with pressure and they're in a different way, but it's not good. No quarterback likes pressure. Quarterbacks like to be comfortable, like to scan the field, the whole 9 yards. Quarterbacks don't like to have people in their stuff. Okay, so you gotta against a guy like Quinton Williams and Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, and Carl Lawson, I think is from Jacksonville or he's from Georgia. This might be a little bit of a homecoming game. And then Jacksonville, also, we should mention Jacksonville is not too far away. I live in Florida. Is not too far away from Florida State University, where a certain Jermaine Johnson was drafted from. So look out for that as well. That's a big thing. I'm hoping that Jermaine has some friends there as well. So actually, no, this is in MetLife. I'm sorry. This is in MetLife, but there's connections between Jacksonville and the Jets. So I'm sorry, this is in MetLife. I was getting ahead of myself. I'm thinking, so the game is going to be on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. And of course, there are a lot of other places to see the game. The Jets match up well against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville also matches up well against the Jets, given where they are. If the Jets can get back to what they've been doing, which has just been dominating on defense, Sauce Gardner didn't even have a target last week. this dynamic, super dynamic offense of the Detroit Lions did not throw to Sauce Gardner last week. He's going to the Pro Bowl as well. He also received a lot of votes. A lot of votes. Him and Tyreek Woolen, the cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, received the top votes for cornerbacks. So, man, sauce, give me some sauce all day. What a pick! What a pick! And Joe Douglas said it best, and nobody was paying attention. None of us were paying attention when Joe Douglas said, "A luxury today can become a necessity tomorrow." Wow, what a pick Sauce has been. So yeah, Sauce and DJ on the outside covering their two receivers. I like that's a win for us. Our secondary. Now, what's a little shaky is the linebackers right now. CJ's been having some issues, but I think CJ will figure it out because he's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy, and I think they're going to look at what Jacksonville likes to do, a lot of tricky stuff behind the line of scrimmage, and I think what they need to just do is be disciplined with their gaps and just stay where they are. No one's coming at you. If they're not running at you, stay exactly where you are because if they leak out from the side, you can be right there to limit the exposure. And our cornerbacks and our safeties have been coming up and helping out a lot this year in run defense. So that's been big for the Jets. So I see the Jets, again, if they can assert their will defensively, keep them as we just saw. We were just watching a preview of Jacksonville not scoring any points until the second quarter, third quarter. Later on in the game, they got stronger. Jets do that, and the offense gets going. This could be a game where this is most likely going to be a closer game than a lot of us fans want it to be, but the Jets could also just control the game. They could just take a lead and just play comfortable. And I believe that we're going to see more of that from Zach Wilson. Zach, we're going to, let's get into the quarterback now. Let's get into the offense. Garrett Wilson right now is at 900 and I believe 66 yards. Garrett Wilson is about to become the first Jet receiver to catch 1,000 yards since I think Brandon Marshall in 2015. Yes, the Fitz Magic days. Fitzy. Look at all the connections that we got going on right now. Where's Ryan Fitzpatrick right now? Oh yeah, he's hosting or he's one of the color commentators on the Amazon show for Thursday Night Football. So yeah, Fitzmagic's going to be there to see what's going on in his old stomping grounds at MetLife. So it's incredible. The last time this record was put up there was from that connection that he had with Brandon Marshall. We looked so unstoppable that year until we missed the playoffs on the last week of the year. Let's not go down memory lane. That was a special year until. But yeah, Garrett Wilson's playing at a high level. That connection between him and Zach Wilson is building. Last week, Zach Wilson threw to 8 different receivers, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. The talk of the town has been wow, wow, wow. But can he just do the simple things? There were these awesome plays, especially the last play of the game where it's 4th and 18 and he threw the ball on the rope, 40 yards plus. And the knock has been on Zach is, hey, listen, on 1st and 10 or 2nd and 7, can you just get us 5 yards and just keep it moving so that we don't end up in those 3rd and whatever positions? Because that's what NFL quarterbacking is. You got to operate from within the pocket. Listen, give Zach some time, work with them. But I will say this. There are so many other quarterbacks in the league where the team basically, like, I think about like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, what Brian Daboll did for Josh Allen. They made the offense fit what the quarterback does well. I don't believe we've done that for Zach Wilson. And I would love to play that clip of Robert Saleh telling Zach Wilson, this organization is going to lift you up. I get it. We went out there and we drafted Garrett Wilson. We went out there and we drafted Elijah Moore. We're paying Corey Davis top receiver money. I get it. They're spending a lot of money on the offensive line. All of it's on the IR right now. I understand that, with the exception of Dwayne Brown, who is making a lot of money. He's playing through the pain, but he has not played it at as high of a level as he has played before. But the guy's putting in the work, so it's been a little bit of a mixed bag with Dwayne Brown. But again, without him, I don't even know who could play left tackle. So thank you, Dwayne Brown, for your sacrifice, because that's huge, man. That's putting the team first. He easily could have took the money and ran, but so the offensive line, the patchwork, I get it. We drafted Brees Hall, he went down, and then we're trying to LaFleur is trying to kind of mimic what they do in San Francisco, where they could just insert running back by committee, and that running back goes for 1,000 yards a year. It hasn't really turned out that way so much. So yeah, the team has looked different since Brees and AVT went down. How does that help your young developing quarterback? You want stability, and I get that. Some Jets fans will say, "Yo, we have all these things for Zach to be successful." It's not that simple. It's not that simple. It's not as simple as going out and getting all these pieces and say, "Hey, go." There's coaching involved. There's timing. There's rhythm involved, and there's also a lack of practice that's involved as well because of the CBA, these guys are only allowed to do so many things and work out in different time frames and yada yada yada. Elijah Vera Tucker, when he slid into right tackle, they had asked him, "How did you do that? You didn't do that in college, did you?" And he says, "No, I never did that in college." So how'd you know how to do that? He says he played left tackle in college, not right tackle. You know what his answer was? I stayed after practice voluntarily, and I work with the guys and work with the coaches. I don't know if he said coaches, because you get in trouble for you might get in trouble for that. I don't know. There's again the CBA is so stupid. The collective bargaining agreement that veterans in the league set for themselves, and I think that when you're a younger player coming into the league, you need more reps. So they need to distinguish how many reps you can get based on your service time. I think based on your service time is when you can maybe opt out of 2-a-days and 3-a-days. But the Jets are in a position right now where 2-a-days might actually help. We can get some of this stuff right. The Jets coaching staff has done, for the most part, from game to game, has schemed up, at least defensively, really well. Offensively, we're starting to get into a little bit of the same old thing. So let's see if the Jets can get creative, help Zach out, get him moving a little bit on the pocket, get him some scheme guys open so that it's just a real simple read, and help Zach help you move the ball forward. And this is a winnable game against Jacksonville. Thursday Night Football at home. The weather's going to be but it's December football. We're playing meaningful games. Let's go. Let's go. There's a lot that can be done by the Jets to win this game. And we just saw some clips of it. I mean, there were some good throws by Dak Prescott in that Dallas game. There have been good throws by a lot of people. And we just saw the up and down numbers of Trevor Lawrence and this team, and how many points they've given up throughout the year, and how many losses they've had, and the teams that they've lost to. They've lost to Washington. They've lost to Indy. They've lost to Houston. Who are the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's what a lot of people are wondering, and that's a little bit about what Mia O'Brien talked about in that interview with Jake Asman. Who are the New York Jets? I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So with that being said, we're gonna go into this thing here about what's going on with Zach Wilson, right? This team matches up well, and hopefully the run game gets going, because Jacksonville is playing better as of late, but they are a team that you can win against in the run game or the pass game. The same could be said about the Jets right now. Well, mostly the run game. The secondary is still pretty damn good. Keep the score low, and the Jets can win this game. All right, so I want to move on to something that Steve Young said. I need to do a separate video on all this. I need to do a separate video on what Coach Saleh said, what Zach Wilson said, and what Steve Young said. I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview right now so that I don't get killed by YouTube again for copyright. And we're going to bring this up right now. Really interesting stuff here. We're going to share the tab audio. Boom. We're going to bring this up, but now I'm going to bring myself up a lot bigger so that I don't get hit. Listen to what Steve has to say here.
Upside. I mean, they always say, the ceiling, all these magical plays that you can do. I recognize that coming out of college, you can only say so much about what somebody could possibly do. But then in a game situation in the AFC, you're going to Burrow, Mahomes, Allen. You're going to see them for the next 10 years. If you're the Jets, this is the kind of thing that got him drafted, that kind of back shoulder, a 50-yard bomb going to the opposite against his arm. Here it is again. Now, you've got CJ Uzama. It's the same kind of throw, but now in game situations. It's the big throw. It's the thing that only 3 or 4 guys in the league can do. And so if you think about the upside, if you're the Jets, and you say to yourself, hey, we're going to have to beat Burrow, Mahomes, Allen the next 10 years, who can give us a chance to go fight those guys in the fourth quarter and make the big throws? This is the guy. What can't he do? Some of the more commodity work. Look, here's 4th down, 4th and 18. Who gives you a better than even chance to pull it off other than those 3 guys I mentioned before and maybe Zach Wilson?
So, all right. Before I get hit, that was Steve Young talking on Monday Night Football, and they put up a graphic there showing on that 4th down play just the rope that Zach threw that ball on. Steve Young showing some love here to Zach Wilson. A number of people have started to come around and show love to Zach Wilson, and I think that's important. It's aggravating some Jets YouTubers, and I don't know why, and I'm going to push back on Jets YouTubers, okay, because they're so negative. And this show is the anti-Jets YouTuber being so negative on their own team. I don't understand why being negative on your own team is considered being a fan. I'm a fan of this team, and I'm positive about it. We've exceeded all expectations this year. Seriously. We're playing meaningful football in December. This is exactly what everybody wanted, and there's still a lot of crying. I don't understand it. And people are knocking Steve Young for what he says here. But you wanted the narrative. The narrative. I don't care what ESPN or anybody has to say about the Jets. I don't care. Screw them. But other Jets YouTubers care about what the narrative is. Here you have people in mainstream media speaking positively about the team, but you don't like what they're saying. Help me here, Jets YouTubers, and I'm not going to start calling out names, but one of the reasons why we started this channel was to take a more positive viewpoint of the team, because social media is just it's just a cesspool of negativity, and there's no need for that. You can give positive criticism and look forward and look to the good versus looking at the bad. We've had 7 great wins, and we've had 7 losses. And they've all been really close. We really haven't gotten blown out by anybody. You can technically say the game really got away from us in Baltimore, the first game of the year. Joe Flacco was starting that game, and we had injuries and yada, yada, yada. We're not grading the wins and losses on a curve. We're just saying that was the worst of it. That's when Saleh came out with the receipts thing that he says he regrets, but a lot of people say they love that comment. I did too, but I can understand why Coach Saleh says I regret it, because it's kind of, it's going to be a thing for years to come. Everybody's keeping receipts, and so I have receipts on Jets YouTubers that are just knocking Zach Wilson and not appreciating the greatness that you have in front of you. If you develop this kid, what he could become, the sky's the limit. So we'll talk about this in another video. I'm going to wrap it up right there. This has been the Thursday night preview and a little bit of film study on Jacksonville and what they're doing. We looked at some stats. Again, I'm going to try to do the best I can to bring you more information so that we're looking at things from a centered point of view and what is. We will possibly do a video after the game on Thursday, depending on what happens, but it's going to be late. It's Thursday night football. It's late. The game's tomorrow. I might do a video before the game. We'll see. I just want to say that I have an Instagram page, Positive Vibes Only Show. Please find it, follow it, so that you can get some in-between stuff between this and and whatever else is going on. I do, like I said, need to do a video where I want to talk a little bit about what Zach had to say, more money, more problems. Coach Saleh had to say, because I found that there was some growth that was shown there. In that clip there with Steve Young, he said that he loved the accountability that Zach took at the end of the game. He did. He took some real good accountability at the end of the game. And I've talked about that in previous videos about how I like the way Zach is presenting himself at the on the press conferences now. So yeah, a lot to come here. There's a lot to digest, a lot more videos you can make, but we can only talk for so long. So with that being said, thank you everybody for checking us out. If you like what you had to say, leave a comment. Tell me what you think I can make the show better. Tell me what you're thinking in general about the team and whether or not we should be more positive and that we should be more grateful for where we are, because I am. It's been a hell of a season. We've exceeded all expectations. 2 wins, 4 wins, and now 7 and counting with good drafts in between. And the future is bright for this team. Tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, Jets, Jaguars. It's a very winnable game for the Jets. So they've got to go out there. They've got to be prepared. And I can. The thing that would surprise me is a blowout loss. Other than that, there's a number of things, ways that this game can go that wouldn't surprise me. So I'm looking forward to a Jets win. And if you've like I said, what you've seen today, like and subscribe. Please comment. I'll get back to everybody. Okay, this is a fluid thing that we're with this channel that we're building and what we're talking about here. All right, stay positive out there. Let's keep rooting for this team. If you have a favorite player, you know what? Root for that favorite player, because that makes you just as much of a fan. Again, stay positive. There's always good and bad. You are the person who decides what and how your output and your outlook of life is, and how you receive that outlook of life when it comes back to you. It's your choice. I choose to find the good in the world. With that being said, my name is Omar. This has been another episode of the Positive Vibes Only Show. Go Jets. See you tomorrow.